Hey guys, and welcome to today's On Live with Jose. And today's going to be just a quick few blurbs of what I've been seeing going on in the news. I am your host, Jose Baldonado with CTLB Media. And we have several channels that we have started. We're going to be putting out a lot of information. We're going to be putting out a lot of information, and we're going to comment on that information and have discussions and have panel discussions regarding what's going on in the country, politics, economy, you name it. We have several channels dedicated to different topics, so I want you to stay tuned. Now, there have been some things that have come up in the news, and I was perusing through social media, and I'm hoping that I'm living in some sort of bizarro world where none of it is true, and I'm just dreaming. But as life will have it, a lot of times that's not the case. So I just want to get started. So I'm going to play a clip for you so that you can see what it is that I'm talking about.
A new resolution put forth in the U.S. House of Representatives is seeking to allow current and future presidents to run for a third term.
What about a fourth
This was
term?
introduced yesterday by Republican Representative Andy Ogles from Tennessee. The resolution would amend the 22nd Amendment, which limits presidents to 2 terms. Any amendment to the Constitution requires approval from 2/3 of both the House of Representatives and the Senate. A new resolution put...
Yeah, so guys, this concerns me because we talk about 1 term, 2 terms. Okay, so now if we want to now expand or go back to unlimited terms or what have you, which is really what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of, okay, so it's not really a 3rd term. I'm looking at from just a legal mind, which I don't have a legal mind. But my pseudo legal mind is this opens the door to 4th, 5th, 6th, and unlimited terms. No term. So, yeah, this is concerning for me. But again, it's some of the strange stuff that has been happening since Trump took his presidency. So I've got another one I want you guys to watch. So I want you to chime in on this one here. Let's take a look.
We are already seeing the impact of President Trump's executive order on gender identity when it comes to Americans' passports. A new directive from Secretary of State Marco Rubio instructs staff to freeze all passport applications with the gender marked X for non-binary, as well as all requests with a gender change. The directive says, quote, "The policy of the United States is that an individual's sex is not changeable." The Pew Research Center estimates that more than 4 million Americans identify as transgender or non-binary.
Okay, so this is troubling for a lot of reasons, but for me, mainly is the fact that Marco Rubio and Secretary of State go together in the same sentence without being separated by could never be, right? But yeah, so, obviously these passport applications already existed. They were already in play, in process, in the mix before Trump took office. And although that I don't necessarily disagree with his statement during his inaugural speech of that there are 2 genders in America, male and female, but only from a biological, scientific perspective. In terms of what you want to identify with, that's up to you. I'm not concerned with any of that. You can do what you want to do. I don't have to necessarily agree or subscribe to it, just like you don't have to agree or subscribe to whatever my preferences, beliefs, or, otherwise. So I'm good with that. But again, I'm always looking at the mindset. Where is all of this going? I don't look at a thing that someone does or says. I look at what the thinking behind it is, because that allows me to weave a pattern as to their psyche. And I need that because that's how I can predict certain things. And maybe predict is too strong of a word. Maybe it's more, I can anticipate where all of this is going, right? But I mean, at the same time, what can you do? This is where we are, but to me, it's getting very, very scary. Now, let's switch up. So we know that Trump pardoned 1,500 J6ers, right? These are January 6th protesters that broke the law. There was a breach of peace somehow, and they were arrested, charged, and sentenced. Okay. So I don't agree with the pardoning, but I want to just kind of go ahead and show a clip of the former Proud Boys leader.
Happy to be out. Thank you, President Trump.
Enrique Tarrio, who led the far-right Proud Boys group during January 6th, is out of jail and has arrived back home in Miami. Tarrio is one of the roughly 1,500 January 6th defendants who President Trump pardoned on his first day in office. He was facing a 22-year prison sentence for seditious conspiracy and other charges. Despite not physically being present at the Capitol during the riot, prosecutors argued that Tarrio played a central role in orchestrating the events from outside Washington, D.C.
That 22-year sentence, the longest given to anybody associated with January 6th, is now gone. So there were cheers from the family and friends here, but I can also tell you that there were people here at the airport who booed him because not everybody thinks that he should be deserving of such a homecoming here back to Miami. We do want to play some sound that we got with him, our cruise in Dallas when he boarded the flight there, about what the pardons all mean and whether this is an attempt to really rewrite what happened on January 6th.
I don't think this changed the conversation. I think November 5th of last year changed the conversation. I think America woke up, and I think America made the right decision. It wasn't just for this. It was for all of us, for you guys, freedom of the press, freedom of speech.
So check out what he says. He says that this changes the conversation, what happened on November 5th, which basically is pushing to the idea, and it's what happened, that Trump was reelected, right? But I think that, so what I like about personalities like this is that if you're a screw up, if you don't mean well, you can get away with a lot of things. You can get caught and get away from that, obviously, right? But you will continue, based on your ways, to do the wrong thing. And that's going to come back to get you, right? So I want to go back and finish playing this clip.
And I think it was a big win for me. So America's better.
And he also there mentioned that he was certain that when President Trump was elected and then sworn in, that he would be pardoned. And he also felt that the Justice Department did not treat many of those defendants fairly, and that some of those cases should have been moved out of D.C.
Remind us his role in January 6th, and do we know what his role with the Proud Boys will be in the future?
You know, that's really up to debate. And in the interviews that he's done since being released, he has said, you know, many people in the media have referred to me as the ex-leader of the Proud Boys, and he says soon you won't be saying X.
So soon you won't be saying X. And just in case you didn't read what was on the screen there, basically said he led the far-right Proud Boys group, was sentenced to 22 years in jail for a seditious conspiracy, was not in Washington during the January 6th riots, and President Trump pardoned him and 1,500 J6ers. But what I wanted to read to you is some of the comments that were here. Let's go to them real quick. All right. So what an embarrassment. This is so wrong. This is not okay. This is not okay. Sad day. This is wrong. Not okay. How is this person named Enrique of a Proud Boy? That's a good one. Don't engage in the comments with them. Not okay at all. This is insane. Welcome home, brother. Thank you for your service. Wow. 22 years. That's crazy. This is so wrong. This is not okay. Welcome home. Sorry this happened to you and your family. So sorry you had to go through this. Welcome home. May God bless you. Thank you, Enrique and President Trump. Welcome home. God bless you. God bless you. Welcome home. No words. Very sad day indeed. This is so crazy. Wow. And the comments go on, and I can't help but to think that we're living in a bizarro world. I remember as a kid watching the Super Friends. This is before they had dubbed them years later as the Justice League. But the Super Friends, working out of the Hall of Justice, Superman, Batman, Robin, some sort of monkey twins or something. And I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern. And they were fighting against Lex Luthor and his bunch, Solomon Grundy. Again, I'm telling my age. Only some of you can follow this, but there was an episode where two dimensions had come together, and in that other alternative dimension, in that world, the Super Friends were bad. Everything was opposite, and the guy that played Superman's opposite was named Bizarro. So when I say bizarro world is like something opposite from reality, something opposite of what's true and correct, right? But I mean, this is the world that we're living in. So, man, I just don't know. But listen, I want you guys to load up the comments and let me know what you think, and we can go from there. I'm gonna play another clip, and this one doesn't have any audio, but I'm gonna talk through it. So here we have FBI Homeland agents raid office of well-known immigration attorney. This happens to be in Rhode Island. Molina Flynn. I'm not even familiar with this person, but you know what? Since we're here, guys, let's look her up real quick. Well, I'm assuming it's a her. I'm sorry if it's not. There we go. All right. So Molina Flynn Law Offices, immigration attorney in Providence, Rhode Island. Let's see what we got. So Central Falls judge resigns after FBI raids his Providence law offices. Okay. So Molina Flynn obviously is here pictured. Flynn specializing. Okay. We got ads. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to use the computer. Next time I will have these things already cut out for you. Flynn, specializing in immigration law, resigns after FBI raids. Let's see what the sound bites are. There are any sound bites. And this has nothing to do with the article. So my apologies for that. Okay, so back to our regularly scheduled program. So what I think about this is, I don't think that mass deportations are going to happen. I know there's a lot of talk about them, but I don't think they're going to happen because I think they're going to find out that, mass deportations don't work. I think unlawful people who are here by unlawful presence represent a huge part of income in as far as taxes on a yearly basis, somewhere around 94 billion. Some people say, oh, but they use up so many other resources, so on and so forth. That it just isn't true. It doesn't balance out, but that's an argument for another video for another day. I think what the administration is going to find out that, one, it isn't really worth deporting them because it would hurt us economically, not just in the sense of what I just mentioned about the tax money that or what they pay into taxes yearly, but in the sense of they do the jobs that no one wants to do, the picking of the lettuce, the carrots, the spinach that you see in your produce stores and all the other things in between. And I guarantee you that you will see a dip in the economy. You're going to probably see an outrage by those organizations or small farms or that require this kind of work that they do so well. And it's two roles that are married together. It kind of goes together in terms of there's a need here, and then there's someone that can supply that need. So supply and demand is the principle here. And it works because a lot of us will not do that. And it's based, that type of work. And it's based on the fact that, we may have a little bit more education. We speak the language. We're more versatile. And, not only can we pick one field for a career, but we can switch up and do another field. I mean, we can essentially start doing a separate job 12 years into our career. But that's what happens when you have education and a command of the language, the local language. So, and it's not that these people are uneducated, but the language barrier. I've seen people that pretty much are attorneys, or there's something else in their country, and they come here and they have issues being able to rise to the same level that they were at in their country because of the language barrier. It's doable. I see them do it. But again, and a lot of these people, contrary to popular opinion, they're not criminals. They're actually people that you would want to be friends. Some of them even happen to be the salt of the earth, with very good culture, very good manners, just good people down to the core. And we need to recognize that. We can't just stand by and pretend like, what the narratives that we hear are true. We have to believe our eyes, right? But listen, guys, let's cut to commercial right now and let the sponsors do their thing. And we'll be back.